Okay, good evening. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Law, I wish to state that on February 9th, 2024, the notice of this meeting of the Upper Township Committee was posted on the official Township Bulletin Board and the Upper Township website, emailed to the Atlantic City Press, the Ocean City Sentinel-Ledger, the Herald Times, and filed with the Township Clerk. Tonight's meeting is being video recorded up until the closed session portion of this meeting and will be available on the Upper Township website. I hereby direct that this announcement may be part of the minutes of this meeting. Would you please rise for the flag salute? Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Corson?
Present.
Mrs. Hayes? Mr. Knappen?
Here.
Mr. Pankos?
Here.
Mayor Newman?
Here.
All members are present.
Your pleasure on the minutes.
I make a motion we approve the regular closed session minutes from January 22nd, 2024.
Second. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mrs. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Knappen?
Yes.
Mr. Pankos?
Yes.
Mayor Newman?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, before we do governing body reports, we're going to change the order a little bit and do the presentation for all this, because I know you guys got a lot of homework to get done, and we want you to, so I'll have the deputy mayor hand those out. I'm going to call your names and come on up here. We're going to line up here nice and neat with the tall guys in the back, the seventh graders in the front, a little less. And I'll read the resolution for you as quickly as I can. Whereas the Upper Township Indians varsity football team had an outstanding 2023 football season, becoming the 2023 Cape Atlantic Junior Football League champions. And whereas the Upper Township Indians varsity football team has successfully completed their 2023 Cape Atlantic Junior Football League season with a record of 10 wins and 0 losses. Whereas on November 25th, the Upper Township Indians participated in the Cape Atlantic Junior Football League championship game held in Northfield, winning the final championship game against the Brigantine Rams with a score of 24-0. Whereas it is appropriate on behalf of the citizens of Upper Township to recognize and congratulate the following players. Johnny Claybar, come on up when I call your name. Andrew Zintner. William Bernhardt, Cole Raffi, Wiley Zoo, is that how you say that? Sorry? Good. Sure, that's right. Xavier Muller, Jackson, you guys know him, that's good. Anthony Libro, I know that one, that's good. Kate Snyder, Ryan Hitteman, Bobby Dranowski, Tommy Christopher, Jackson Becker, Adonis Bullock, Dominic Borky, John Endicott, Cesar Rodriguez, Mason Vaughn, Jake Candelero, Chris Robine, Isaac Ray, Cooper Rich, Sebastian Barnhart, Sean Palmer, Trent Ocello, Alex Christensen, Colin Higgins, Jeremy Copayo, Shane Spiegel. And we also wish to extend this recognition and thanks to those who have generously and given their personal time and service to coach this team, they being head coach Tony Gareffi, assistant coaches J.J. Claybar, Chris Robine, Michael Endicott, John Vaughn, Art Muller, Greg Borky, and be it resolved, Ray Norton, and be it resolved by the Township Committee on behalf of the citizens of Upper Township to extend the 2023 varsity team congratulations on becoming the 2023 Cape Atlantic Junior Football League champions, and to each of our heartfelt thanks for their generous donation of their time and service to the young people of this community, blah, blah, blah. And what we're going to do is, before you guys take the picture, we'll just stand here. Does that work, Larry? Yeah. Jared? Why don't we come in a little closer with each other? I don't know, the guys are almost as tall as us.
Say cheese. Everybody over there. All right, good job.
fully up and operational. So our recreation leader and your team mom have sort of coordinated. If you guys can head over to the field, they like to give you a little preview so you can see what it looks like, maybe get a couple pictures for you guys. All right, congratulations, guys.
Hey, Bork.
There you go, Tim. There you got it.
Okay. Now we can move on. And we can start with recording governing body members, Mark Pancoast.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a quick update. I know we're going to hit on the beach update when we get over to engineering, but just some of the work that the public works guys have been doing over there. They spent quite a bit of time over there this past month installing the sand fence, except from Williams to Witter. Walters helped us out with that particular installation there. The crossovers at Vincent, Tecumseh, Sumner, and Sherman have been extended and gravel installed. I know there was some comments circulating out there about they use that clay material, that orange sand, and apparently that's the Army Corps of Engineers specs that out. So,
Army Corps of Engineers, New Jersey DEP, that's
Right.
the standard material.
So it's
that's
not
used
a-
all up and down the New Jersey coast.
So it's not it's not us being cheap or anything like that. It's just that's what we have to put on there. I know Public Works is also busy. It looks like helping out with our co-op agreement with the schools, cleaning up some of the leaves, I guess, that are still floating around in the school districts. I've been helping them out. Maintenance of the vehicles has been ongoing, never ending. So I know that with our past winter storms that we had quite a few, two or 3 weeks ago, we're still fixing some stuff from that. Also, it is kind of interesting to see, I think, I'm trying to pull it up here, the amount of warnings that we're giving. Out of, I'm going to say maybe 2 or 3 dozen warnings that we're giving out, and no summonses were issued. So, they're doing the non-heavy-handed approach to trying to get a lot of these code violations up to par. So the neighbors can be friendly with other neighbors, and we can go on with life. But other than that, that's all I have. So, thank you.
Oh, good evening, everyone. This is a fun fact, the number I just saw this morning, 16.1 million people called out of work today. Super Bowl Monday. So thank you to my colleagues for being here. We were here for the budget workshop. I was teaching this morning. Thank you guys for coming out tonight. And also it's cool to celebrate the great football team after, I'm an Eagles fan, so last night was a tough watch for me for the Super Bowl. So getting to celebrate the Indians.
Super Bowl was Saturday night.
On the animal control front, all I have tonight, on Saturday, February 24th, we'll be holding a free rabies clinic, 1 to 3 p.m., rain or shine, located 73 Hope Corson Road in Seaville. The last clinic we had some bad weather, so if you weren't able to make it out to that one, please make it out to this one. And if you need any further information, we'll post that online. That's all I have.
So as I touched on it, Lights at Buffalo Park, that project is finished. I'd like to thank our superintendent of public works, our deputy superintendent, our head of buildings and grounds, our engineering, everybody that was involved in this process. This is a project that predates my time on committee and has required a lot of restructuring and reallocation to make it happen. It's totally unplanned that it happened to be Super Bowl Monday and the day that we were having the football team here that, we were able to announce it, but it's they came out great. They were really beautiful, energy efficient, they're LED lights, so we were talking in our budget workshop earlier, we should be able to operate that on about 25% of the cost of what we were using to operate the lights there. Additionally, because they're so much more high tech, we have the opportunity to make them brighter, make them darker, isolate each pole so we could provide some additional lighting for the park for some added security, even when football's not there. There's a lot of potential there that we're pretty excited about.
Beautiful thing is too, they can be turned on, they don't take hours.
There is, right, we're not going to.
LEDs are the way to go.
Yeah. That was a big issue for those of you who aren't familiar with football, was waiting for those lights to come on, and if someone turned them off by accident, you had to wait at least 15 minutes before you could try again. So it's nice to be able to flip the switch and have light. On a less successful front, our senior center HVAC continues to be plagued. We're now running into, again, issues with the heads. Fortunately, we do have backup heat for the winter months because of what we went through over the summer. If you look at your consent agenda, item number 29, that is an application for a grant to replace the HVAC at the senior center so that we can just move past this finally. And that is all I have.
Thank you, Curtis. Thank you, Frank. Obviously, we had a budget workshop. Our budget will be introduced at our next meeting. We anticipate, as it stands right now, a 1.4% tax increase, which is minimal to, I think, a $300,000 home. I think, what was it, $45? Yeah, $42. And Gary, I'm sure, hopefully, we have more people here. Maybe when you get to your report, you can elaborate and go through that slide real quick.
Absolutely.
But we anticipate introducing our budget at our next meeting, which 30 days later, we will have our final adoption. So we're on track for getting it done on time. That's all I have.
Thank you. Chris. We have, I have one thing for tonight. Just want to remind everybody that the Upper Township Rescue Squad is having their flower sale, rose sale. So it's a friend will look at this one. I made my pickup today, so I'm all set. But they're there tomorrow and Wednesday, of course, for those last minute. Until they sell out, hopefully. So we have a chance to go by there tomorrow. We have, you're on your own. So that's all I have. Let's see. We'll move on to Board of Governing. We did that already. Administrator overview.
Before I go into your overview real quick, I just want to reach out to my employee and the staff and the collaboration and the cooperation that we had. So this is a 3-week budget. There's 50 items that are going to be on a consent agenda for one consent. So for 3 weeks, the clerk's office was able to put this agenda together, and within 1 second, you're going to wipe it all out without acknowledging what the work
Well,
that
that's
she
probably a
does.
good thing we had the consent. It would take about an hour to go through that.
The other thing I want to, and I'm going to do it at the next meeting, but I want to bring attention to what the deputy mayor brought attention to was the grants that we have active, and we're going to go over the active grants that we have, and it's just been a fantastic 4-pack of the offices working together. Again, the clerk's office, the CFO, the engineers, and Triad have all been, and I'm kind of the project manager putting it together, but they are doing the nuts and bolts of it. You're going to see some great submissions from the team. So real quick, 2024 budget. Again, the goal was stability through involvement, management, and advice of our professionals equals success, and that's kind of what we've achieved through this budget this year. Cooperation, consolidation, and collaboration is what I keep pounding the drum with exactly what I just said, with what the clerk's office does, my CFMO, the engineering, all of the public works, everybody that has part of putting this budget together. We continue to steal massive amounts of money from public works because they continue to stay within their budgets, and we appreciate it. So expected this year again that we will be moving money out of your budget in November and giving it to us. Employee partnerships was the cooperation between a reduction of health costs, shared services, hiring practices, and everyone kind of doing double duty within the township. It is, again, a $300,000 increase. I use round numbers, so 5 or more, let it soar, 4 or less, let it rest. 288 something or other, but close enough to 300. What is it?
299.
299 was close, but 300,000 or 1.4 cents. The majority of that increase will go towards paying debt service down, our employee obligations for the township increase. So health benefits increase, carrying costs increase, all the pension costs increase. So pennies worth about $1.90, 1.42 cents is what it actually says in our budget document. Average home we use at the 300,000. Like Chair Vic said, it's just an easy number to extrapolate and to double as far as to come up with what your value of your home.
Let me just, because we had a question during the budget workshop, that is your tax assessment, not your real estate assessment, right? So we'll look at your tax bill to see what it is, so there's some confusion about that.
Correct. Don't get ahead of your game. Don't get yourself all upset for no reason. So the drum roll, please. Comes to $42 a year as far as what will increase in the totality. It's $355 per month on a $300,000 home.
That's a Starbucks home.
Correct.
Super interesting.
Come other unique numbers. The township collects $41 million in total collections throughout for the county, the open space, library, school. Upper Township receives $5 million of that, $41 million, about 13%. Schools about 71%, county's about 16%, and the township is about 13% of the entire pie. For every $1,000 in taxes paid, Upper Township gets about $1.20. And my fuzzy math slide is, because everybody likes to play percentages, here you can see two identical amount changes of 100, the new amount's 101, that's a 1% change, but when you put a 6 to 7, that's a 1 amount change, but it's a 16.17% change. So if you want to play the percentage game, you can always make things look the way you want to make it look. That's the show, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary.
Just real quick about the consent agenda.
Go ahead.
I know you said it's a 3-week work in progress, but
It is a lot done.
yeah, Joanne doesn't just give it to us like tonight. This is a process that she goes through throughout the week. So
Never stop.
we don't just see them tonight either. Like we get them ahead of time to be able to see, and we have to
Add to it.
pull something.
It's
so
a live document, and I just want to bring accolades where accolades, and it doesn't,
Yeah.
so she's already working on it.
And tomorrow, if she hasn't already today, starting on next.
And she has to get everything that you signed today, gets scanned in and then sent out. So it's just,
So she keeps us in the know. That's right.
I like to speak now or forever hold your PC It's like, okay, here it is.
on Friday.
It's
Friday.
on there, now it's time.
So thank you, Joanne.
Thank you, Joanne. for
Thank
keeping
you.
us all straight.
Okay, Joanne, just get that.
I have nothing. Thank you, though.
You've done enough already. Mr. Sponzo.
Just one thing, Mayor. As a result of some discussions in the Mount Laurel Committee meeting, it became apparent that a lot of the checklists that are currently in the zoning ordinances are not being followed exactly. And I think based on the transition from Paul to the system that's now, a lot of stuff has kind of fallen through the cracks. So I prepared a memo, and Joanne will circulate it to the committee after this meeting. And it's basically going back to the ordinance, making sure those checklists are followed, all the items required are submitted or waivers are requested. I know Ryan has a suggestion on fees and escrows, because all this work that is needed for an application gets passed on to the applicant through escrows. So I think it kind of goes hand in hand. So I would suggest that, that the committee take a look at that, and if anybody has questions, just to reach out. But I think the ordinances are good. At first, we thought maybe there weren't the appropriate checklists in accordance with the municipal land use law, but everything is good from an ordinance standpoint. Just a matter of getting back to it and following it.
And I know we had some conversation about that at the planning board meeting last week, and their solicitor, I think, was going to reach out to try and connect with those of you to make sure everybody was on the same page and following.
Yes.
Okay, is that it? Mr.
That's it, yes.
Barbara?
I just have one thing this evening, and we have 2 employees from our construction and zoning office requesting to go to take 2 more zoning classes. Both classes are held in May, and it would be a cost of about $1,800 to send both of them to these 2 classes to finish up those zoning classes. So just need permission because of the cost and the length of time.
I'd like to make that form of motion that we approve this continued education or for our employees, it makes it a better situation all around.
Second that. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mrs. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Nappen?
Yes.
Mr. Pankos?
Yes.
Mayor Newman?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, also, on that, I'd like to add, because I forgot to bring this up, I also have a request for a Division of EMS employee to go to a mass casualty class, we want the tactical emergency casualty care, and to apply that as well, and I'd like to make that in the form of a motion.
Second.
Call the roll.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mrs. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Nappen?
Yes.
Mr. Pankos?
Yes.
Mayor Newman?
Yes,
Motion carried.
thank you. Barbara, I'm done
That's all,
interrupting you.
thank you.
Okay. Ryan?
Yeah, I have thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a few updates to go over. First one, the paving program. So essentially, that's a project to handle mill and overlay of various roads throughout the township. I attended a site meeting with Paving Plus and Public Works last week to really finalize the scope of work. We actually received an updated quote from Paving Plus this afternoon. Barbara and I will be reviewing over the next couple of days and then passing it to the committee for review and approval, so we can start that work as soon as possible. So that's paving program. Second one would be the Route 50 Cedar Swamp Creek Bridge. So that's really a DOT project to replace the bridge on Route 50. That project is currently in the design phase and has not been sent out to bid yet. Construction for that bridge replacement is starting, or anticipated to start in 2025. What you see out there today is lane shifts for essentially pothole repairs on the bridge and adjacent roads. So that's kind of a separate project, and the bridge replacement's further out.
And just so everybody's aware, that's the bridge between 610 and Tyler, right?
Yes, yep, exactly. All right, next up is the beach renourishment project. Really, as Curtis indicated earlier, beach fill portion is completed, Mark indicated. Public Works has now started the installation of the crossovers, and they need about 3 to 4 weeks until that's completed, and all crossovers are installed. And as Deputy Mayor indicated a lot better than I can, I believe, on Caldwell Park earlier, construction has been completed. I understand you had a final walkthrough on Friday, and really the last item is for Public Works to handle some grass restoration over the next few weeks.
And the mayor's showing us the pictures from the field, someone just.
Yeah.
You see it's a-
Yeah, if you could send me those too, I would love to see
Yeah.
how that turned out. And then really the last one is the Strathmere Pump Project. The one action item there is we received a request for extension from JF Kiley. They have a deadline of sometime in March to complete the work. Where the project is at now, I would be comfortable recommending an extension really to before Memorial Day, so 5/17 of this year for them to complete the work.
Do we need to do that on a motion? or-
Yeah, so I'm essentially requesting a motion from you guys.
Obviously, originally, that project was, been kicked around for a while, and they wanted to do it in the middle of the summer last year. Obviously,
Exactly. So that's why we were giving them a deadline of May 17th to complete that work.
I would just stress, I mean, we could probably, because I would say if we get too close into May, I would say notify the construction. I mean,
Okay.
4 day a week, work week, or whatever.
Yeah, I have
And
no
obviously,
issues.
he's got to be passed over once he's took it up to the weekend down.
Understood.
Is this their first request for extension?
It is their second request for extension. And
It's
just,
not really- And the request is because the scope and the design has changed.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's
understand,
not,
understand.
they're ready to go.
No, no.
They're not ready to go because we're not ready to go.
yeah.
I will make that in the form of a motion, we grant the extension.
Second.
Call roll, please.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mrs. Hayes? Mr. Nappen?
Yes.
Mr. Pankos?
Yes.
Mayor Newman?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, anything else?
No, that's all I have for tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Back to Joanne.
Okay, we have the consent agenda. All consent agenda items listed below are routine in nature and will be enacted by one motion. If the mayor or any committee member wishes a particular agenda item to be considered separately, it will be removed from the consent agenda and acted on separately.
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda from items 2 through 35.
Second.
Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mrs. Hayes? Mr. Nappen?
Yes.
Mr. Pankos?
Yes.
Mayor Newman?
Yes.
Motion carried. We have under resolutions to be acted on separately, declaring the gypsy moth a public nuisance and public hearing.
Okay, how do we do this? Do we have a motion to declare a public nuisance and then have the hearing?
I think I have the hearing first.
Is that?
The hearing first.
Okay, so does anybody here would like to speak on declaring the gypsy moth a public nuisance? This is a requirement for us to get the grant money that is going to be part of this program. We have to do this every year. Anybody here for the gypsy moth public hearing? Hearing none, we'll close the public portion of that hearing, or the public hearing portion of the gypsy moth, and we'll entertain a motion declaring a nuisance.
I'll make a motion that we declare gypsy moths a public nuisance.
Second.
Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mrs. Hayes? Mr. Nappen?
Firm yes.
Mr. Pankos?
Yes.
Mayor Newman?
Yes.
Motion carried. Number 37, approving the application of the Marmora Volunteer Fire Company for highway coin drops.
Move we approve the motion, resolution.
Second. Please call the roll.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mrs. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Nappen?
Yes.
Mr. Pankos?
Yes.
Mayor Newman?
Abstain.
Under new business, we have the Parish of St. Maximilian Colby requests use of Strathmere Beach for an Easter sunrise mass on March 31st, 2024.
Motion approved.
Question on the motion. Well, this is for which piece? 1500 or Williams?
They asked for Williams, but they're willing to move if it's not
I'm just,
available.
we need to clarify. Right now, we have the beach. But it did work out well at 1400.
They're willing to move if that's not.
Okay, motion to second, we call the roll, please?
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mrs. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Nappen?
Yes.
Mr. Pankos?
Yes.
Mayor Newman?
Yes.
Motion carried. 39, Country Shore Women's Club requests use of the Upper Township Community Center for bingo BA 568 and raffle RA 569 on April 13th, 2024.
Motion approved.
Call the roll?
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mrs. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Nappen?
Yes.
Mr. Pankos?
Yes.
Mayor Newman?
Yes.
Motion carried. 40, Parish of St. Maximilian Colby requests to hold a raffle RA 570 at 200 Tuckahoe Road, Marmora on August 14th, 2024.
Motion approved.
Second.
Call the roll, please?
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mrs. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Nappen?
Yes.
Mr. Pankos?
Yes.
Mayor Newman?
Yes.
Motion carried. 41, Ocean City Crew Boosters request use of the Upper Township Community Center for a bingo BA 571 and raffles RA 572 and 573 on March 2nd, 2024.
Motion approved.
Second.
Call the roll, please?
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mrs. Hayes? Mr. Nappen?
Yes.
Mr. Pankos?
Yes.
Mayor Newman?
Yes.
Motion carried. 42, Ocean City Theater Boosters request use of the Upper Township Community Center for a fundraising event on April 20th, 2024.
Motion approved.
Second.
Call the roll, please?
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mrs. Hayes? Mr. Nappen?
Yes.
Mr. Pankos?
Yes.
Mayor Newman?
Yes.
Motion carried. And then 43, fee ordinance revisions.
Tony, this is what you were talking about before, correct?
Yes.
So, I think Ryan is prepared to say, or?
Yes. Yeah, so we essentially provided some recommendations for fee revisions based on a review of surrounding municipalities as well as the municipal land use law. So our recommendations were for increases on these fees for street opening permits, bulkhead permits, the subdivision and site plan applications, the associated inspection fees for those applications, and then dumpster permits. Based off the memo dated February 1st that was sent over to Gary. Do you want me to walk?
Could you elaborate on the dumpster permit?
Yeah, so right now, I mean, we're recommending a application fee of $50 for a dumpster permit application. Right now, the current fee is $1 per day if you're at a 20-foot length.
Okay, so you're not going to go off the job.
Yeah, so it's essentially dropping off dumpsters at single-family homes in the driveway. We have that as a $1 fee per day in the winter and fall months, and then in the summer, that fee is escalated depending on how many days you have it out there and the length of the dumpster. Our recommendation is just to change that to a flat $50 fee for every dumpster permit application, just due to the review time. It's very similar for each dumpster permit.
When our you talk about dumpster permit applications, I've seen in the past, and it's actually gotten better.
Yeah.
Some municipalities have them covered at night, or when they're not using them. I think it's part of our inspection process, I think it's improved a little bit. But a lot of these dumpsters don't seem to be covered, and that's a problem.
Okay. Yeah, so that's something we could certainly add as
That's
well
more on
too.
the enforcement issue, and I think it's improved.
Yeah.
Well, covered in the driveway or covered in the street?
Covered completely, just covered. And the other issue I have
So what would be the reasoning if it's in your own property to cover the dumpster?
because
Unless you own the next 100 acres of ground, when people put insulation and stuff in it, it tends to blow out. And it's not so much as bad as in the streets where the problem arises, but it's gotta be,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little overreach personally.
the other issue I have with
it's not,
seasonal,
it's not an overreach, because
There's no there's no hazard. But they're covered in the street because it gets in the way of a car or, it causes an issue. If it blows into your neighbor's yard, you go over and you pick it up, or your neighbor comes over and yells at you. I don't think we need a government oversight to say cover your dumpster that's in the back of your house.
well, if you don't want to cover it in the back of your house, that's fine, I don't care, that's not the issue, but the issue is.
But we can't enforce it though, that's what I'm saying. I'm against the enforcement of covering a dumpster in your backyard.
Well, not every dumpster's in the backyard, that's the problem. I mean, when you get some of these places in smaller homes, where they are put in the front yard on every home, and they're not covered, it's a problem.
and again, we can delineate on island community versus mainland.
Well,
I mean,
it's a mainland issue too. I mean, I have seen dumpsters on the mainland that have become an issue. I mean, are they all covered all the time? Right now, we have it's in our ordinance right now to cover them.
Does this ordinance, or this fee ordinance specifically, are we talking about penalties and that kind of things in this ordinance, or is this just the fee change?
Just application fees and escrows.
Yeah, this
So
is
so
solely.
really, yes, it really becomes more of the application fee and
Yeah,
then the
we
fee
went
address.
we went off track. Right.
And then also we can do that.
I have one question. I'm sorry, Nick. I just have one question for Ryan on the C variances.
Yeah.
Is that a per variance fee and escrow, or is it for the first one? Because, I mean, if you come in with 10 variances, it could be pretty costly, so it's,
So the idea there is essentially per application, not for the multiple C variances if you needed 4 on a separate application.
You should probably
If you have
clean
a
it up
C
so that-
variance or a D variance, it would come with an associated application fee and escrow fee. So that is the intention.
We should probably clarify that in the revision.
it should
Yeah.
be clear. And so, I've seen some municipalities, they have a set fee and escrow for the first C variance, and then each additional one is at a lower fee, because it creates a lot more work for the reviewer and therefore more expense for the township.
And again, these are recommendations, so if that is something we want to add, we can certainly do so. An initial fee for each variance, and then, as Tony was indicating, an
So
additional.
This report that you did, has it been circulated to Gary?
I believe I can certainly circulate it to Gary and the committee after this meeting.
Okay, then that's what we'll do, and then Tony will clean it up, and we can take a look at it and go from there. I don't think there's a need to
Yeah.
discuss it.
Might be on our shared drive already. That's just, he's on our shared drive already.
Okay, is it? I didn't, sometimes I don't look like I should, but that's fine. Very, very
Thank you,
good.
Joey.
Yes, thank you, John. And,
But if we share it on our email, it might be kicking some feet.
this is true. This is true. Okay, continue.
Under unfinished business, we have Aaron Sagan request to purchase township property, Block 329, lots 1 through 4 and 8, and Block 332, lots 26 and 30.
Tony, or Mr. Monzo, I'm sorry, what is,
I mean, is this the one, Joanne, that was previously approved and
Right.
to add another property to it? I think you can do this by motion if it's acceptable, and all the procedures required will be followed as in the original resolution.
okay,
I'd like to make that a little motion.
would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mrs. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Neffen?
Yes.
Mr. Pankos?
Yes.
Mayor Newman?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Pleasure on the bills.
And hereby move that all claims submitted for payment in this meeting be approved and then incorporated in full in the minutes of this meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mrs. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Neffen?
Yes.
Mr. Pankos?
Yes.
Mayor Newman?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. Now open the meeting to the public. Anybody from the public who'd like to comment to the township committee? Or governing body? Anybody? Libby? Could you come on up to the podium? Mind and state your name?
I'm Libby Shuck, Seaville, New Jersey. I read in the Herald that this might be a zoning issue, so I won't go along because I heard what I was going to say. But I heard that there's a proposed a hotel and apartments that are going for a variance right north of Cedar Square on Route 9. So I don't know if this is a zoning issue or something.
I think that was withdrawn or tabled.
No, it was tabled, it's gonna be
It
a
was
next.
tabled to another time, but I didn't know if,
It's a matter in front of the zoning board right now, so we're not allowed to comment.
but can I speak to the zoning board about that?
Yes.
Okay, so just write them an email or whatever? Okay.
Well, you really need to go to the hearing.
And when will that be?
It'll be,
March 7th, I think, was when it was tabled, so.
Okay, so just go to that hearing with my questions, don't write ahead of time then.
Yeah, you can just go there and ask questions, and then the applicant will be there to answer.
There is, and then the applicant has, there's a plan in town hall in the zoning department. If you'd like to see a copy of the proposed plan, I'm sure it's available, which is, obviously, they haven't made the application yet. It's a proposed plan, and they have been tabled because they want to change it, so it's probably not the final plan, but it'll give you a bird's eye view of what's there.
Okay, well, I'll write an email to the zoning board as well, but I'll show them.
If you want to send it to the administrator, you can send it to me, and I'll make sure it gets to the secretary. If you want to just send it to administrator
Yeah,
at Upper
whomever,
Township.
whomever. Do you have an email address? Brady?
Administrator
Okay.
at uppertownshipspelledout.com.
All right, great, thank you.
And give me a call in the morning if you don't get it, or the email, and I'll make sure we make a connection.
And our website, also, if you go on the township website, I believe there's a one click to get his web address.
Okay, great, thank you.
The only point is, written comments, if it's a substantive comment regarding the application, really cannot be considered by the board if you're not there to present it to the board, because the applicant needs to be able to ask questions about it. So,
Oh, yeah, definitely,
So
yeah.
written comments will not,
Yeah, I didn't know whether I should present the comments beforehand in a letter or present it at that meeting, so I thought beforehand it'd be good so they can just think about what is on my mind.
Yep, both ways.
Both ways are good, but just don't depend on one.
Yeah. Oh, no, definitely, I'm gonna go to both, but thank you. That's it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else that would like to speak to the township committee or present anything? Hearing none, I will close the public portion of the meeting and entertain a motion to go into closed session offered hopefully by Mr. Committeeman Mark Pinckney.
I hereby move that a resolution be incorporated into the minutes authorizing the Township Committee to enter into executive session for the following matters pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act. Number 1, personnel. Number 2, contract negotiation, JP Bainbridge appraisal services. 3, contract negotiation, GMS Law, NREM foreclosure matters. 4, contract negotiation, Parker McKay Bond Counsel. 5, contract negotiation, Frank L. Corrado, Special Legal Counsel. 6, contract negotiation, Consulting and Municipal Engineers LLC. 7, attorney-client privilege cell tower. I'm also including in my motion the estimated time and the circumstances under which the discussion conducted in closed session can be disclosed to the public as follows. A, it is anticipated that the matters discussed in closed session may be disclosed to the public upon determination of the Township Committee that the public interest will no longer be served by such confidentiality. B, with respect to employment and personnel matters, such discussion will be made public if and when formal action is taken or when the individuals involved consent that it can be made. C, with respect to contract negotiations, such matters will be made public when negotiations have ceased and there is no longer a reason for confidentiality.
Second. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Corson? Yes. Mrs. Hayes? Yes. Mr. Knappen?
Yes.
Mr. Pankos?
Yes.
Mayor Newman?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, we'll take 5.